All right, I'm gonna text Tom. He's coming on in a sec.
I'm gigging his ass.
If you're watching the live stream right now, I'm not on camera. None of my cameras are working on my laptop, and I am rattled. The past 30 minutes for me has been incredibly tough. So we got me on the show tonight. We got producer Pat, obviously. We got Jared. We also have, your regular reader of Couch Guy Sports. Every Friday you see our boy Kevin producing the hottest baseball takes there are. And then and tonight we got a special guest on, our second reoccurring guest. I think, 2 weeks ago we had Philly Perry from NBC Sports Boston. This week it was all the way back episode 25 last time we had him on. Tom Giles, NBC Sports Boston. Tom, thank you so much for coming on tonight, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good night to do it. He's got the Celtics wrapping it up, moving on to face the Cavs. Plenty to talk about with the Red Sox, unfortunately. But, yeah, that was exciting. I don't know. We're watching the whole thing unfold. The last half hour. It's been great. So, I don't know. I'm excited.
No, listen. So I was typing out some stuff pre-show. And I just started kind of writing down some questions that I wanted to ask you that I didn't want to forget. And I started writing them out as if the Celtics were already up by 12 points. Was that their biggest lead tonight? They were up by 12. I was like, oh, they got this game in the fucking bag. So I started typing out can the Celtics beat the Cavs in the next round? Is that a possibility? And then I was like, and then they started catching up, and I was like, oh shit, this is gonna be 100% on me if they lose this game.
Yeah, no, we were all ready to blame you as well. And I personally was very upset because, before the game, I saw Celtics 1.5, and I was like, I'll grab that. That looks good. And then I was like, you know what? I feel really good about it. I'm going to go grab Celtics 2. So the last few minutes of that game were excruciating. They were very painful to the point where I was almost rooting for overtime. But look, yeah, you can move on to the Cavs, but I thought Philadelphia, actually, that was their best game of the series. They didn't win, but they were actually decent down the stretch. Dario Saric reminded us why, is one of the best rookies in the league last year. And Embiid played pretty well. Simmons, it's amazing. Philadelphia crapped their pants in so many games down the stretch in this series, but tonight they actually look pretty good. So that's a pretty impressive win for the Celtics, even at home.
Yeah, they looked wicked good. But now, I guess we can start it off with this. So obviously people are talking about it going forward as the Celtics versus the 76ers being, the big, I want to say rivalry going forward, because they're two young teams, they're two up and coming teams who people think are going to be nasty for a long while. So the Celtics just won this series, and this is essentially the 76ers team we're going to see going forward, unless they add LeBron James, which just wouldn't shock me this offseason, because that's how Boston sports go. We get excited and then everything crashes down. But we can't complain too much. No, you're right. But I was
we can. No, yes, we can. The Patriots lost in the Super Bowl. We can complain all we want.
Yeah, Tom, get off your high horse, pal. We have to be upset. All right. But can the Sixers with the same team compete with the Celtics once they get Kyrie and Hayward back? Because this isn't even the best Celtics team that they're going to roll out.
Good point. This isn't the best team the Sixers are going to roll out either, because you have to assume that Simmons and Saric
is going to be good.
Simmons is going to get better. Embiid's going to get better. This is the first almost full season he's played. I thought one of the things that he had a hard time with in this playoffs was kind of just being in shape. You know what I mean? Down the stretch, he just looked gassed. He looked winded. So I think that the further he gets into his career, he's going to be able to figure that out as far as conditioning and be a force throughout the game, because there were just times where it seemed like he just was out of breath. But no, that's a fair point. And then I don't know, maybe Markelle Fultz does something. Maybe he becomes a factor at some point. He obviously wasn't in this series, but yeah, no, the Celtics would certainly have the upper hand, but I still think this Philadelphia team's on the rise, and they got a lot out of, Saric. I keep saying his name. I don't know why. He just impressed me tonight, because I guess we're arguing about it before the show. Michael Hawley's like, Dario Saric, man, he's not good. I just don't get it. And I'm like, I don't know. I thought he was pretty good at the end of last game. Thought he was pretty good tonight. So he kind of gets forgotten because he got Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, but it's a young team, so they're going to continue to get better. But yeah, the fact that Boston beat them without their two best players it's pretty crazy.
Tom, what do you make of Joel Embiid? Because, I'm a basketball guy myself, and, I love it because you always need somebody to hate. And between him and Ben Simmons, it's not going to be hard for the next 10 years. But he makes it a rivalry. He makes it fun. And yeah, they lost, and he missed the game-winning shot at the end of that game, which he probably should have made. What do you make of Joel Embiid as a character and as an NBA player?
Okay, as a character, I like him. I like him. I like him a little less since this series started. I loved him during the regular season. I was like, this guy's calling out Rihanna on Twitter. I mean, he's having fun. Like, he kind of seemed to get it. You know what I mean? He's just kind of embracing it and having fun with the social media, the post-game interviews, even when he's playing. I mean, once you got into the series, it's kind of the stuff with the Terry Rozier thing. He's like, I tried to throw 2 punches at me, but he's too short. And it's like, he didn't try to throw 2 punches at you. I mean, maybe I don't know. You could argue maybe like half a swing on one of those. I don't know. Terry.
He's too short anyway, according to Embiid. So whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's a good character, great character. As far as a player too, I think Hawley was comparing him to Shaq. I think he's more like Anthony Davis. I think Anthony Davis, obviously more athletic at this point, but Embiid's already shooting the 3. And with some success, and he had one shot. Was it game 2 when they were up by 22, where he had like this turnaround off 1 foot jumper that was all net. It was in the first half, and you just looked at it and you're like, okay, if he's making that shot, like you can't defend that. The guy's 7'2". He's just so freaking good. But that being said, I thought Aaron Baines played out of his mind this series. Like I didn't think Aaron Baines would be able to match up with him at all. And physically, just he played a fantastic. They don't win the series without Aaron Baines.
Yeah, and you know what? So speaking of players that just really affected the series, Marcus Smart and Terry Rozier both, to me, like they're pivotal pieces. And honestly, a lot of these guys, the difference with the Celtics, in my opinion, is that it's really a team game. A lot of these teams, like look at the Cavs. The Cavs won. If they don't have LeBron James, they don't win that game. They don't win the series. The Celtics, it's a real team effort. But if you take away Marcus Smart from that lineup, do you think the Celtics have a chance at winning that series against the Sixers, or do you think Marcus Smart really was the pivotal factor for the Celtics beating the Sixers?
I mean, I think they need Marcus Smart to win the series, but what makes that question interesting is when you go back to game 1, they won without Jaylen Brown. So when we're going into the series, like, all right, can they win if they don't have Jaylen Brown, who you could also argue is their best player on this team with what they have right now, behind Al Horford, but different players. So we said, you're not going to beat Philadelphia, who, and I don't know, I feel like I was in the majority when I thought that Philadelphia was going to win this series. I thought the Sixers would win the series before Jaylen Brown was out. Then I heard Jaylen Brown was out. I was like, oh man, I mean, I don't know how you beat Philadelphia without Jaylen Brown, but they still did. So I could see the argument. You obviously need all these guys at some point, but the fact that they won that first game without Jaylen Brown, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if they didn't have Marcus Smart, hard to say. You still have Brad Stevens. It's like one of those. I've only seen these shows a couple of times because once you've seen them, you've seen every single one of them. But like the cooking shows where like they're given like 8 random ingredients and then they have to make something out of it. And like Brad Stevens wins that competition every time. It's like he makes like filet mignon and like, the most delicious dish out of like 8 random ingredients with like 20 minutes on the clock. Like that's what he's doing right now with the Celtics roster.
So with this team, is Brad Stevens the reason why they're winning? Like, is it just because of that? Because we all know this league is primarily talent, right? It's everyone can always say, coaches don't matter. Look at the Heat when Spoelstra was there. They don't matter. But I think they really are winning simply because Brad Stevens is in charge.
Yeah, and I think Spoelstra's actually shown that he's a pretty damn good coach because I don't know. I thought that Miami roster was pretty terrible. I certainly didn't think they would make the playoffs. And, watching them down the stretch of the regular season, I was like, okay, this team's, they're playing hard. They're pretty good. Spoelstra's, he's legit. You can say the same about Brad Stevens. I think sometimes we maybe get carried away, like I was just doing, that they've got some talent here too. I mean, Al Horford's not a slouch, 5-time All-Star. You got a couple number 3 overall picks with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. They're young, so you don't expect them to be as good as they are right now. So maybe Danny Ainge I think Danny Ainge deserves a ton of the credit as well. But right now, I'm not taking any coach over Brad Stevens. I don't know about you guys, but he's the guy you want.
Oh, absolutely not. You're right. There's no way. There's not a chance in hell that I would take anybody else in this league other than Brad Stevens. He's incredible. He's an absolute gamer.
I mean, from what I just watched did you guys hear he didn't even get a single vote for Coach of the Year?
Yeah, on the coaches vote, which is asinine.
Yeah, right. Fellow coaches didn't even give him a vote.
Okay, so I'm not the only one that thought that was bizarre.
No, that was totally bizarre. What was just as bizarre was that Doc Rivers did get a vote. So I think Doc Rivers had to voted for himself. No, Rivers must have voted for himself. It's like, oh, yeah, I'll vote for myself. Why not?
Hey, so rolling into the next series, they obviously got the Cavs. It's a Celtics-Cavs rematch. Basic question, do you think that the Celtics are going to have a chance to beat – it's really – I want to say the Cavs. Do you think the Celtics are going to have a chance to beat LeBron James / mini font right here, Kevin Love?
They'll have a better chance than they did last year.
I don't like the sigh. I hate the sigh.
I mean, LeBron's been a wagon. I mean,
yeah.
Like what he's done, and not the first round against Indiana, but that second round against Toronto. They just, I mean, Toronto maybe quit a little bit too. Cleveland basically broke their will in Game 1 in Toronto, but that was ridiculous. LeBron's playing so well right now. It's until you dethrone the king, he's still the king. It's kind of how I see it. Do they have a chance? Yes. I think it's going to be a competitive series, but if I had to pick a team to win the series, as it stands right now, I'd have to go with LeBron. And I'm not even going to say the Cavs. It's LeBron. It's just LeBron.
Does it really matter who wins the East?
I don't know. I mean, you're inclined to say no because the Warriors and even the Rockets are very good, although the Celtics, I think match up okay with both. Just they give them both kind of problems. It matters. Sure, it matters because especially if you're looking at a Celtics team that doesn't have a ton of experience on its roster, a lot of young guys, like each step you take, it's invaluable. That those are huge games. And maybe it also matters because I always look at it and say, you never know. You never know if like Steph Curry is going to get hurt or Kevin Durant's going to get hurt. And all of a sudden, the playing field just levels out a little bit. So on paper, probably doesn't matter. But yeah, it does. And obviously we'd love to see him move on. I don't know. Do you guys realistically think the Celtics win this series? Like would you feel like they are favored in this series?
Against Cleveland?
Yeah. Against Cleveland.
No, they're not going to be favored. They weren't even favored against the Sixers, Tom.
No, I know that, but you personally might have said, I think the Celtics will beat the Sixers before the series started.
Yeah. I don't think anybody said that.
I was with you. I was with Billy.
This whole show was.
Yeah.
So we're all realists and we're all proven wrong. So I don't know. Maybe you'll continue to prove us wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I never thought they would get past Philly, to be honest. I kind of think already right now this is a win for the Celtics this season as a whole. Just let the young guys get more experience. But I don't know. I could be wrong. Do you think that's pretty accurate? Or?
Yeah, no, this is totally a win. I thought they would struggle with Milwaukee. They did. And as you're watching that series, you're like, oh, God, I mean, if they don't get out of the first round, that's really going to suck. And, they had to go 7 games, but they got it done. Every series from here on out. I mean, well, I shouldn't even say it that way because they're already to the Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah, this season's totally been a win. I mean, we're talking about just pulling up some of the numbers from tonight's game. You're getting, 25 points from Jason Tatum. You didn't even know it. He wasn't even at the forefront of your minds a year ago from now. He didn't even look like you didn't know you had the number 1 overall pick. You're talking about Markelle Fultz, whatever else. He had 25 points. You got Jaylen Brown in his second year scoring 24, and it's crazy what they've been able to do collectively and with Brad Stevens as a coach. It's all you're playing with house money at this point. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? I was playing with house money too when I was betting on the Bruins, and then the Bruins killed me in the playoffs. But hey, I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter at all. Whatever.
No,
it's fine. It's cool.
You're wearing a Bruins jersey right now. So
yeah, dude.
you're a little bitter.
No, I'm sweating profusely too. I didn't think this was going to be this hot. Hey, you know what, Tom? You want to talk a little bit of baseball? Because now I'm kind of gassed up right now. And the Celtics, they make me happy. They made me happy here. This is, I didn't think they were going to be doing any of this. I didn't think they were going to get past the Sixers. The Red Sox, I think they're going to win tonight. I think they're up 6-5. Hanley Ramirez hits a piss rocket into left field. And next thing you know, Craig Kimbrell comes into the 8th inning and blows the lead. Nothing to do with the question I wanted to ask you, just ranting about that. David Price, though. Okay, Tom, David Price. What do you think about this whole situation? Do you play Fortnite? Or do you understand the obsession with Fortnite? And this carpal tunnel thing, just give me your thoughts on David. I don't want to say that word. David Price, just David Price.
Okay, I'll start with.
There's a loaded question.
Obsession. I understand there's an obsession with Fortnite. I've never played Fortnite. I don't
It's a good
know
game.
what Fortnite looks like. I've kind of, I've kind of turned the corner. I don't really play video games much anymore. I have enough time. I waste enough time, with other stuff. So, I look back at those days and be like, God, I just spent like 3 or 4 hours playing video games. And I find it kind of odd that you've got these Major League Baseball players who, it's like David Price. We're about the same age, who's admitting, to Jen McCaffrey in The Athletic that, it's like sometimes they have to remember to take a 30-minute break to eat. Well, take a 30-minute break from playing Fortnite to eat, which I mean, that's good. That's good that they're like scheduling it in there so they remember.
Shouldn't have to schedule in your meals.
Professional.
No. I mean, what are you taking breaks for? Just like eat on the go. Come on, guys. Like,
yeah,
that's go next level. We don't know if that's directly related to the carpal tunnel. If it is, it's pretty. I mean, it's hysterical and unforgivable at the same time. It's just like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, to think about the different athletes you have in Boston right now. You got Tom Brady, who will do absolutely anything to gain an advantage, who like won't even eat tomatoes. And then you've got, your star pitcher, or at least, your highest paid pitcher, who will be playing video games so much that it affects his ability to do his job. If those are connected, that's just ridiculous. It is. It's, I don't know. You almost can't even put it into words. And unfortunately for him, people are going to make that connection. True or not. Fair enough.
Absolutely. It's David Price. He's under the microscope. Any move he makes, that's what I don't think he realizes. Any move he makes, any dumb decisions he makes, like this isn't even a dumb decision, but if this is the cause, he's gonna get lambasted. I'm glad that word came to my head. Glad I got to say that word on the air. Lambasted. He's gonna get lambasted by the fans. It's gonna
now you're not gonna stop saying it.
He's gonna get lambasted by the fan base. He's got to think about these things. He's pitch your ass off, dude. $31 million a year. God damn.
You know what's ridiculous is like in contracts, sometimes they have to write in like you're not allowed to play basketball or ride motorcycles or shit like that. If they have to start writing in that like you can't play video games more than like 2 hours a day in the contracts, or else or else they can void them. I guess it's 2018, but that's, what are we doing?
It's like a little league contract. You cannot go to practice unless you pick up your room and stop playing video games.
Yes. So I don't understand the Fortnite obsession, but God, I don't know.
Imagine Alex Cora having to go back to the clubhouse mid-game, catches David Price playing video games. This is what I imagine as a real scenario, not even like a real hypothetical. Like this probably has already happened. Alex Cora's got to walk back there and be like, David, like, let's go. We're playing the Yankees right now in the Bronx. Why did you bring the Xbox? Why is the Xbox here?
David, you're on the mound. Let the controller down.
Can you imagine? It's just to be a major league manager these days. Because we've been in the been in the clubhouse before. Guys will sit there. They'll play video games. I haven't been in there this year, so the Fortnite obsession. That's when did that start? Maybe like 6 months ago or something. But guys are like relaxed, they're watching TV. They'll play video games a few hours before the game. It's not a big deal. They'll play cribbage. That was the old thing. They used to play cards. It's like, okay, we'll play cards. Because at least at that point, you're not going to get addicted because you're like, all right, I'm sick of shuffling. So, the card game ends. And you're like, I don't feel like shuffling. So let's just move on and do something else. We're not going to play for 4 hours or forget to eat.
There will never be a time
it's
where
a different world.
It's a fact. I will never forget my.
No, I don't know how people can forget to eat.
Yeah, generally people, your body tells you, they're like, yeah, we're hungry. And even when you're not hungry, you're like, well, I'm hungry.
Yeah. Oh, I could still eat. I could eat something. Tom, this team right now, in terms of the Red Sox, they are very much sliding a little bit here. Are they catching the Yankees at the wrong time? Are the Yankees this much better and they're just finally figuring it out? What do you make of this Red Sox-Yankees series? Obviously, they already lost the series. They have one more game as we record this, but just what's your take on this team as they're sliding a little bit here coming into May?
They look pretty exposed. They look really exposed to me, actually. You didn't have Chris Sale pitching in this series, which, that's unfortunate, but it's been, I think the most glaring difference between the two teams is the bullpen, and it was in the first game of the series when you can't figure out who you want to throw in the 8th inning, and you got Joe Kelly coming in with the bases loaded, giving up the go-ahead single. Then the next night, you're like, okay, we got a 6-5 lead. Yeah, Matt Barnes. It was Matt Barnes who put him on the corners tonight. I was like,
of course it was.
Red Sox. Like, we're still doing TV. We're still trying to do like a show while it's going on because everyone's watching. Well,
I was watching you guys. You guys were watching the game as you guys were on TV. Like you guys were all reacting. Michael was like, pass it, pass it, pass it, pass it. It was like he was in his living room.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I told him, I was like, guys, I'm going to be on the Loose Change podcast, so I need to watch the game. So we're not doing a show. If you want to put the TV in, well, fine, we'll do that. But I need to be able to watch the game. So, no, but we're kind of still trying to figure out what we're doing when everyone else is watching. But it's nice to know that someone was tuned in for that. That is actually, I feel good about that. I'm going to let the guys know that. But as far as so Matt Barnes put runners on the corners, and then you bring in Craig Kimbrell with one out in the 8th inning. I don't know how long you've been warming up at that point, because I know our guy Evan Drelic's been all over that. He's like, you got to bring Craig Kimbrell into the high leverage situations. You have to do it. Whether it's the 8th inning, he even said maybe the 7th inning last night, which I think that's too soon. But they bring him in the 8th inning, and what does he do? He gives up a 2-run double or triple to Brett Gardner. I mean, that's as soon as that happened, you're like, oh God. So the Yankees go up by 1, and then the 2-run home run. It's like now you almost feel like we're not going to see Craig Kimbrell in an 8th inning role until September or October. How are you going to go back to it? The guy kind of made it seem like he didn't like that role already. Now it feels like he kind of threw him right into it in a bad spot tonight, and he gives up the lead. So the biggest difference between the two teams is the bullpen, and the Red Sox were very much exposed over the first 2 games of this series. And I think the Yankees are a better team. And if you look at their records and the fact the Yankees are now in first, and so many people put out there the symmetry. Red Sox start off great. Yankees start off like crap. Then the Red Sox slid. Yankees took off, and just like the numbers are crazy how they were just, they're just opposite, but the symmetry's there. I think New York's the better team, and I think they were all along. Red Sox could be without David Price for some time, and I just don't know what they're doing with the 8th inning, and then they still have to figure out what they're going to do about Jackie Bradley Jr. and the outfield and everything else. It's good to see Mitch Moreland out there get the 2-run home run early, because then that will vindicate all the people then clamoring to get Mitch Moreland in lineup over Jackie Bradley Jr. But your catchers still can't hit, so you've got some holes there, some needs for sure.
Oh my God, that bottom 2 of the lineup, it was for the longest time. It's just been a momentum killer. You have 2 guys who are prided on their defense, right? Like that's what they're the 2 type of guys. If you hit 230, your defense is so good that, you really don't even have to care about it. But, like, God damn, get your average over 200 at least. At least over 200.
It's like National League. It's like you're hitting the pitcher.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
how bad
it really is.
It's insane. And, hey, Tom, I'm glad you brought up Evan Drellick, too. Evan Drellick, friend of the show, friend of the program. We've had him on before. Evan's the man. I've heard him say that, too, the 7th inning thing. I heard him. I think it was to you. The 7th inning thing, when he said that, I was like, whoa, what the fuck? 7th inning for Craig Kimbrell?
We're not doing that. I'm okay with the 8th or the 9th. If you want to bring him in the 7th, you can do that in a postseason game, like in an elimination situation. Fine. I was okay with the 8th inning stuff. I didn't see like how it unfolded. I don't know if he was like warming up, got a chance to warm up or what. But I mean, you shouldn't need to bring him in that situation. You kind of hope that Matt Barnes or someone else can. They just don't have an 8th inning guy right now. You're hoping someone just emerges, and unfortunately, I don't know. You don't have it.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows if what Thornburg's going to look like too when he comes back? But hey, final question, then we'll let you go. General question: Red Sox, Yankees. It sucks to ask this question right now because I think I know what my answer is because right now everything is swaying in one direction. But who wins the AL East? Red Sox, Yankees.
I think the Yankees do.
You didn't even have to say Yankees by that pause.
And somewhere Jack Rob's the corner.
Yeah, it's going to be Yankees because they'll also be able to get something at the trade deadline because they have more pieces.
Yeah.
That's the other thing that you got to keep in mind. Like, they're going to look at this and going to say, all right, we got a 2-3 game lead. It's late July. We're going to go out. I don't even know who's available. It's way too early to look at that, but they're going to make the moves they need to strengthen their rotation, and their bullpen's already better. So I got to think the Yankees are going to take the division, which is too bad. Red Sox could be one of the best 3 or 4 teams in baseball, and they'll be playing in a 1-game wild card.
Yeah. But you know what? This is just making baseball so much more fun again. But hey, Tom, thank you so much for coming on tonight, man. Really appreciate it. Hoping we can get you back on again at some point soon. It's always a great time when you come on, even though this is the second time. But so far, we're 2 for 2 and having a good time.
Yeah, no, we're having a great time. You know, the Celtics win the way they did. That kind of erases how ugly that Red Sox loss was. And I mean, this is like my peak time. I know it's late for you guys, so I appreciate you staying up late. But you know, this is I won't go to bed for another 4 hours. So this is awesome.
Oh yeah, no, me and Kevin were texting. We're like, we're getting up at 5 a.m. tomorrow.
Oh,
same.
God.
Yep.
But hey, Tom, once again.
All right, guys. What?
Oh no, sorry. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, no, of course. Thank you for coming on. Follow him on Twitter on the tweet machine at Tom Giles NBCS. Catch him on Boston Sports Tonight. You know, I've said it multiple times. We've had a few guys on now from just NBC Sports Boston in general. Big fan of NBC Sports Boston.
Did you guys get any random questions? I saw the tweet. Did you get any random questions for me?
You know, I'll be honest with you. I didn't even check because everything was being so rushed.
Yeah, probably not.
No, my phone was dinging. My phone was dinging. I didn't get to check anything though. You know, hey,
your video wasn't working, so.
Yeah, listen, Tom. I'm a 55-year-old man when it comes to technology. I'll do things, and I have no idea what's happening right now.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of with you. I mean, again, Fortnite. I'm like, yeah, I've played Fortnite when I was 7, and it involved like couch cushions or like, you know, it's out in the woods. You know, that was Fortnite. I don't know what the new Fortnite is, so that's where I am on technology.
Yeah, I'm on a Skype call right now. I don't even have video. I have no idea how to put this video on.
It'll come together.
Yeah, no, 58 episodes in. I hope so. Follow him on Twitter at Tom Giles NBCS, and then once again catch him on Boston Sports Tonight, NBC Sports Boston, Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to midnight. So, you know, unless right now when there's a post game going on. But Tom Giles, once again, thank you so much for coming on tonight, man. Really appreciate it. Hope to talk to you soon. It was a great time.
All right, thanks, man. Appreciate it. See you guys later.
Yeah, we'll talk. Yeah, thanks.
Can I just tell you, as he leaves, the best guest ever hang up on themselves because we don't know Skype. Yeah, he picked like the worst picture of him. He looks like he's like staring at like a death stare. His eyes are wide open. That's the promo picture you tweeted out.
No, that's his picture on Twitter. That's his own. That's the one he picked.
Then he picked a crappy picture. That's just like.
Oh no! Hey, I love having Tom on though. Tom's the man.
Tom's one of the good ones.
Yeah, Tom is one of the good ones. I'm glad we got to have him on for longer because we thought we were only going to get him for like 10 minutes. So little Kevy baby, how was your first interview? A coochie coo?
Oh man, I honestly, dude, I honestly was just kind of shell shock. You know what I mean? Not gonna lie, like I came in thinking it would be like the last one where we just kind of just talking, and just I don't know, kind of cool to talk to a guy like that.
We're professionals now, baby.
We get shit done, baby.
Yeah, rookie.
We have a store.
I'm not like Tatum, all right? I don't have can't just step up to the game like that, I guess.
Markel Fultz.
Oh, yeah, Markel. Yeah, all right. That's fair.
Ride the pine, baby.
That's fair. That's fair. You know what I mean?
Kevin, go fix your mechanics. Go work
Hey,
like
whoa,
a jump shot.
I can see Jared on here. All right, guys. Once again, I almost just ended the show. Tom Giles at Tom Giles NBCS on Twitter. Boston Sports Tonight, NBC Sports Boston, Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to midnight. So let's roll on, baby. Let's roll into the weekly dump. The weekly dump. We need some music going into this. I want to get some more music into the show, period. That's something I want to talk to Pat about with.
I don't want it to be your voice, though. Stop it.
I had most of the sound effects myself because I'm a pro when it comes to sound effects. Half the time, I guarantee you, half of the time, nobody can even tell it's me making the sound effects. That's a fact.
You have a better luck adding sound effects with your voice than you do on a computer, so good for you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, Ichiro, this is the headline I wrote. Ichiro doesn't know who Tom Brady is. Okay, let me read more about that. So Tom Brady, Kevin, let me. You know the show Weekly Dump. This is topics from the week, hot topics from the week. Ichiro doesn't know who Tom Brady is. This is a quote from, I forget where it came from, so I'm not going to cite you, whatever. One morning in spring training 2017, he was in the coach's room. This is Ichiro, looking at his cell phone text messages. Ichiro told the coaches about one message he had received from a number who he didn't recognize. The guy said he'd gotten Ichiro's number from A-Rod and that he wanted to come meet him and study his stretching system. What's the guy's name? Asked one of the coaches. Ichiro scrolled to the end of the text. Some guy named Tom Brady. Who the fuck is Tom Brady? Ichiro, this is last spring training. So this is spring training 2017. Ichiro allegedly doesn't know. Ichiro's a character, man. Ichiro allegedly doesn't know who Tom Brady is. This is also the same guy who claimed for years that he didn't speak English well, and he speaks perfectly well. he speaks great.
I was just gonna say that. Didn't he say like a while back he doesn't speak English?
He said that for the longest time that he didn't speak English, and he just speaks clear as day English. It's like he's not even from Japan. It's just he speaks clear as day English. Blue Jays closer Robert Osuna arrested on Tuesday for assaulting a woman. I don't know. I didn't read much in that story. Don't know if it's his girlfriend. Don't know if it's his wife. Whatever it is. Robert Osuna arrested on Tuesday for assaulting a woman. Dwayne Casey, we talked about this for a little bit. Dwayne Casey, coach of the Raptors, was picked by his fellow coaches in the NBA as coach of the year. Brad Stevens didn't receive a single vote, which is asinine.
Idiot.
Literally so dumb. Like that just the fact that Brad Stevens didn't get a single vote tells you that thing just it's got no validity. None. Brad Stevens is the best coach in the NBA, and that's a fact.
The reports that Dwayne could lose his job in Toronto.
Exactly. Dwayne Casey might be getting fired.
Dwayne Casey might get canned.
I thought he already did. I thought
he didn't yet, but he might.
I thought they already canned him.
No way. Once the real vote comes out, if Dwayne Casey wins, that's a joke because he literally might get fired. You can't be coach of the year if you were bad enough to be fired. I wrote this is exactly how I wrote this headline. Tom Brady and Giselle rocked the Met Gala. Giselle. Jesus. Oh man, Giselle. Woo! And then Brady not as good. Brady, I hate to admit it, Brady's got some plastic surgery going on. He's got some Botox in that face. Brady's not looking that good. He's got Botox.
That didn't come out of TV12.
No, I know, but Jesus, like his face is looking rough. Red Sox top pitching. This is sad news. Not of today. Red Sox top pitching prospect Jason Groom will undergo Tommy John surgery and will miss the rest of the season. Talk about any collateral that you were thinking about trading for a big time move. Jason Groom, done for the year. Although you can't trade Jason Groom because he's literally the last pitching prospect you have in the system. The Marlins and Cubs bench is cleared, and Chris Bryant tickled Starlin Castro, which is hilarious. If you watch the video, Chris Bryant literally tickles Starlin Castro in the middle of this little shoving match at home plate.
Almost as good as Brad Marchand licking someone's face.
Yeah, Brad Marsh, that was the next one. Brad Marchand has officially had the word come down from the NHL, stop licking people. Marchand, I forget if it was today or yesterday, Marchand was like, all right, I'm going to stop. I can't keep embarrassing my team. Essentially, that's what he said.
He's not going to stop.
No, he will not stop. Mark Ingram suspended for the first 4 games of the season for PEDs, and you know what that means, baby. He's going to drop in fantasy football, and I'm going to get him in the 8th round. Let's go. NHL playoff update. Lightning smoked the Bruins, advanced to take on the Capitals in the East. Golden Knights will either play the Jets or the Predators following Game 7. And I don't know if you guys have watched any of the Jets versus Predators. That series is electric.
Wild.
That series is electric.
Go Preds.
NBA, we know now. The West is the Rockets and the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals. Eastern Conference Finals, Cavs versus Sixers. Realistically, probably going to be Cavs versus Warriors. But hey, you never know. The Rockets, pretty good team. Not really a playoff team, but you never know. Chris Paul. Is this Chris Paul's first time in the Western Conference Finals?
Yep.
That is a joke. That guy had DeAndre Jordan and Blake Griffin.
Yeah. This is his first time past the second round ever.
That's a joke.
He's going to choke. He's going to choke somehow.
He will. The Warriors are going to win the finals. Let's not kid ourselves.
Yeah.
All right. First topic before we honestly, this isn't going to last that long because, again, great interview with Tom Giles. Great interview with Tom Giles. David Price. David.
Fortnite.
David.
I need to jump in on that. Like
David fucking Price.
You guys.
David Numb Fingers Price. David Phalanges Price. This motherfucker. His fingers go numb again right before his New York start.
Sure.
We need him to pitch his balls off in the Bronx. The Red Sox are on the brink at the time, and we already know what the result is at the time of recording. But, we know you need David Price to pitch his balls off in Game 2. Just kidding. Guy's not going to pitch. He's going to go to Boston and get his phalanges checked out because they keep going numb on him.
Okay, Nick, can I tell you what a bitch David Price is? Because, look, I still want him to succeed. I'm rooting for David Price.
Of course you want the Red Sox to succeed, so you want him to succeed.
I mean, I want him to succeed. I mean, my fantasy team is named The Price is Right, for crap's sake. Like, come on. But look, but look, here's the deal. You have Drew Pomeranz pitching with like a hangnail, bloody everywhere, and in baseball that might as well be a punctured lung in hockey. Like that, like it's just what it is. David Price won't even go on the mound, and now apparently they're talking about getting him like a hand warmer, like Brady wears on Sundays. I don't know.
So he's got carpal tunnel. Before I roll on, that's what it is. He's got carpal tunnel, and now there's apparently reports that carpal tunnel might be because he plays too much Fortnite. So now that we have the clear picture, Kevin, let's go. Hit me with that news. Hit me with that opinion, baby.
It blows my mind. You guys hit it square on the head. This is the conversation you have with 13-year-old kids.
Where in the dick?
I literally coach an 13-year-old AAU team. We have to tell the kids to stop playing Fortnite. Their parents are telling us they're up all night playing Fortnite. These kids are 13, not 32. It blows my mind, and we need him to succeed. I want him to succeed because he has a player option. The only way he's getting more money is if he pitches well and can opt out. Other than that, he's going to be here for a while. No one's going to want him to trade. So what are you going to DFA him? I mean, it blows my mind. I'm speechless when it comes to him.
Well, that's the thing. So even if he doesn't opt out after this year, and if he doesn't come back, there's still it's May 9th, okay? It's May 9th. There's still a chance that this guy's going to come back and pitch his balls off. We saw him do it last year. He showed up in a relief role, and he pitched so well. He was one of the catalysts for the reason the Red Sox, or actually I guess they only won one game, but he pitched his ass off in the playoffs, pitched his ass off towards the end of the regular season. The guy was great coming out of the bullpen. I don't want to see him in the bullpen at all. I think he's going to be – if he goes back to the bullpen, he is the softest little whiny bitch that's ever come through Boston.
He is
more than Carl Crawford. More than Carl Crawford.
So I heard the news of him getting carpal tunnel on the Sports Hub today with Felger and Maz.
Yep.
I think that it's fucking hilarious that people think that he got carpal tunnel from playing fucking Fortnite. He is a professional baseball pitcher. His job is to contort his fingers. His job is to contort his fingers around a baseball and throw it 80 to 90 miles an hour 80 times a game. You're telling me that isn't going to give you carpal tunnel, but playing a fucking Xbox controller for 2 hours a day?
Well, why don't more pitchers get carpal tunnel?
Dude,
He doesn't.
probably
He
do.
doesn't even contort his fingers. He throws cutters. That's his main pitch.
You're still
Just
putting
cutter.
you're still holding your fingers around the ball and squeezing the ball. And dude, he practices with his hands. He uses his hands. It's the only thing he uses are his hands.
Yeah, he uses his hands to jerk off too.
He
Nothing.
The fact
Pedro
that they're
Martinez.
attributing it to Fortnite is ridiculous, dude. There was like a couple
I-
pieces early in the season
I'm
about
with
how
him.
they play it. Alex Cora went on. I think he was on EEI today, and they
That's
asked
where he
him,
broke the carpal tunnel news. ZEI.
Yeah, and they asked, how'd he get it? And he was like, he's a fucking baseball player. He uses his hands to play baseball. Like, dude, I've played video games my entire life. I don't have carpal tunnel from playing fucking Xbox games.
But it could be a mixture. It could be a mixture because from
I
what
think
the
it's fake
report,
news.
from what the reports are, he plays a lot of Fortnite. Like he doesn't just play Fortnite; he plays the fuck out of Fortnite. He plays Fortnite, and it could be a mixture because you're right. He does contort his fingers to throw these balls, but I mean at the same time, he's doing that. He's doing all this work, and then on his off days, he's sitting back in the clubhouse playing video games.
I mean,
I
Nick,
just
we
think-
just
I think
found out
it's
that you can be
blowing it out of
Thanos in
proportion.
Fortnite now. So like, that's always
Yeah.
a blast.
Which is fucking crazy. I don't know if you guys have seen the Thanos videos yet on Fortnite.
You know, David Price is all about that.
And listen, Fortnite, it's a great game. It is a great game. It's tough.
never
not to
played
play.
a minute of it. Never
Yeah,
played
you're
1
missing out.
minute of it.
Yeah, well, you're a schmuck. Okay, you are a schmuck.
Dude, I'm busy.
Yeah.
I have a job I have to focus on. Maybe David Price should take some advice from me and focus on what he's supposed to be doing for a living.
No,
I mean-
realistically, no, you're right. But realistically, David Price, schmuck right now. Yeah, we all want him to come back and succeed. If he can
Yes.
come back and succeed, he said back in October he thinks 2018 is going to be his best year ever.
It's early, as you
Not-
said.
Not off to a
great.
hot start there, Davey.
Not great. Not great.
But he did. But no, wait, he did though. The first couple of
Yeah.
starts, he came out
Yeah.
and he was throwing the ball. The
And he was
ball had
hurling.
weight movement on it, and it was like, all right, maybe this is the David Price that killed us down in Tampa to begin his career. Maybe. And then he goes into Fenway, gets rocked by the Yankees, and all of a sudden, oh, my hand hurts. Dude, Pedro Martinez was on MLB Network today. He said, you have to go out there with the mentality of finishing what you start. David Price doesn't have that mentality at all. He's softer than puppy shit, all right? Come on.
Well, that's why I don't buy the whole cold weather thing that they were trying to sell us either, because on April 5th he pitched. It was winter. It was legitimate it was glacier temperatures outside, and he pitched his ass off there. That in that game, April 5th, Tampa Bay, was that opening day? That might have been opening day. He allowed 3 hits in 7 innings pitched. So I don't buy the cold thing. I just think when he has a bad outing in Boston, he gets worried, he gets anxious, and he gets taken out. I think that's just how he is now at this point.
He's
And
pitched in 3 cold cities: Boston, Detroit, Toronto.
I think it's the Boston fans. I really think that's what it is.
Yeah,
He's
because
soft.
Boston fans don't let him get by. Like
No.
everywhere else he's been, look where he's been. Tampa Bay.
Yeah, we
Who
ain't
gives a shit? Who gives a
sucking
shit
your
in
dick,
Tampa?
pal.
Like Detroit, no one gives a shit about baseball in Detroit. Toronto, they care, but only when the team's kind of good. And even then, they're Canadian, so they're really
We ain't
nice.
sucking that penis. We ain't not sucking that penis.
Lacrosse is actually Toronto's or Canada's natural sport, not hockey. I found that out the other day.
Canada can suck
Fine.
my ass, and so can lacrosse. So can lacrosse.
Fuck lacrosse.
All right, yeah,
Right.
dude.
Yeah.
F lacrosse. F lacrosse.
Baseball guy, baby. Till I die. Let's go.
Yeah, baseball guy. Unless I'm watching basketball, then I'm a basketball guy.
Unless I'm watching Tom Brady, then I'm a Tom Brady guy.
Yeah, and then I'm strictly a Tom Brady guy. And if I'm watching hockey during the playoffs, I'll be a hockey guy.
I'm a
Uh,
big fan of Brad Marchand licking people. Just
Big-
throwing that up. Big fan of it.
Should have been on last. Oh wait, we didn't have a show last week. Oh damn. Speaking of technical difficulties last week, that's why we didn't have a show. It got erased. All right, next topic. Who wins the AL East? We'll finish this up quick. Who wins the AL East? Yankees, Red Sox.
Yanks.
Sox.
Damn.
Sox.
Oh,
I gotta go Yankees, man. And I gotta go Yankees right now on May 9th. And we just gotta talk about Yankees, Red Sox real quick, and then we'll end the show.
back though.
The Yankees, oh my God, these bats. You go through this lineup. The difference between the Red Sox Yankees lineup is once you get near the end, you kind of feel safe. And I mean, if you're a Yankees fan, you feel safe. You get to the bottom, you get to Christian Vasquez, it's almost an automatic out at this point. If Jackie Bradley's in the game, it's almost an automatic out at this point. So you look at the Yankees lineup, and it happened to Craig Kimbrell. Craig Kimbrell, regardless of what Connor Ass Clown Strayer, who writes for Couch Guys Sports, thinks, Craig Kimbrell is one of the best closers, if not the best American League closer. That's just a fact.
Yes.
The guy pitches gas. And you know what? We're Boston fans. They get on the closer because they remember Jonathan Papelbon in 07. Nobody's going to be like Papelbon in 07 where he's literally just an animal striking.
Well, you had 04. You had Folk in 04.
Yeah, exactly. So we were spoiled. Papelbon was a freak in 07, but I'm saying that's what most people remember. Even Craig Kimbrell had a tough time pitching to Brett Gardner and Aaron Judge. That's your top two in the Yankees lineup is Brett Gardner and Aaron Judge. And then you got to follow that up with Gary Sanchez, Didi Gregorius, and Giancarlo Stanton. Regardless of what the last four people are, I don't care because that top five it's one of the best I've ever seen.
And then you're probably going to end up with Manny Machado at the deadline. Put him in that lineup.
Shut up. No,
LA's going to end up with Manny.
Going to the Dodgers.
Yep. LA's going to end up with Manny.
But does he stay there then?
No, they'll let him walk, but they need to replace what's his name, Seager, who got hurt.
Yeah, Seager's out for the year. Machado's going to go to LA. He'll walk next year and go to New York, and New York will win the next 10 championships. It's fine.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Kevin, don't be a homer right now. Don't be a homer.
No. All right. How many times a year does Aaron Judge strike out?
A lot. How many times a year does he play Yankee Stadium?
Yeah, but okay, so you got Judge.
I hate that right field. Hate it.
I hate the whole stadium. It just feels like you're in a bubble, a really tiny.
It's a Little League park. And if you guys remember back to, I know Quags does. I talk with Bongo all the time. The kid.
Bongo unfollowed me. Bongo got so pissed at me on Twitter one night he unfollowed me.
Who's Bongo?
He used to write for us before you.
He wrote for us for
fuck that guy.
I don't know, a couple months. He was a Yankees guy.
Yeah. He was our Yankees guy. We had a Yankees guy.
And
we don't want any more Yankees guys.
And biggest Yankees fan. I was like, Bongo, you live in a Little League park. Stan's 2 home runs yesterday aren't home runs anywhere else.
No, that bounces off the wall in left field at Fenway, and it's not making it out of right in Fenway. That's a fact.
Well, that's why this is going to be close because the series itself, season wise, is going to be a close race because of the fact that you don't play every game against the Yankees in New York. Fenway Park will help neutralize that, but they still get half of their games at a ballpark that's made for little leaguers. So that right there makes that power that Quags is talking about that much more of a big deal. That's why Stanton going to the Yankees in the first place was such a problem because it took his 50 homers and makes him 80.
Yeah, but I'm big on your middle of the order is going to strike out combined 600 plus times a year. That's a problem.
If you have 240 home run guys, who cares?
It's 600 outs just by striking out, where our middle of the order at least is putting the ball in play. If you go back,
but if you give me 240 home run guys on top of the fact that their bullpen is a lot better than yours.
All right, so wait, the Astros won it last year, right?
Yep.
Go back and look at their numbers the year before. They struck out a ton. They cut down the number of strikeouts. They go on to win the World Series. Didn't change much of their team, but it contributes to that fact. I don't think I literally think it's going to be game 162 down to the wire and Sox friggin' get lucky on something, but it's going to be close. I got to stick with my guys,
I still think the Astros are going to win the World Series this year.
Oh, yeah.
But
the Astros, I forget that they have Garrett Cole. And then I see Garrett Cole pitching for them.
I keep forgetting they have Justin Verlander still.
Yeah. They have,
in my head, it was a rental. He's not there anymore.
No, their rotation.
Wagon.
Cole, Verlander, and Keuchel. holy shit. Like,
I think
we're
people
not.
forgot about Keuchel and all of this.
Yeah,
I think people sleep on their bullpen.
Because
yeah,
Cole
no, you're right. Their
was
bullpen's
added.
nasty too.
Oh yeah, the whole team is nasty. And you have Altuve, a little midget that could, who just can do everything. Like that team is untouchable, and they're becoming what the Yankees were in their like prime, if you want to call it that. Like this team is young, and they're going to win championships. It's like the Boston Celtics of Major League Baseball. They're just going to win championships forever.
All right, well, we got it. I think that's around the 45-minute mark. Yeah, we're gonna end the show here. It's midnight now. It is officially Thursday, May 10th. Kevin's getting up in 5 hours. I'm getting up in 5 hours. I'm gonna be cooked tomorrow, but it was worth it because it was a good show. Yeah. Oh, but Pat means the greeny green. Pat means the J.R. Smith hitting that green. What's up? Actually, before I end the show real quick, I forgot to mention something. So I wrote a blog on this today, over on CouchGuySports.com, and so I get a call from this woman that I know, and she goes, did you hear or did you write about like the newest world record holder for something? And I was like, what are you talking about? And then she was like, she's telling me her son, who goes to BU, I don't know if you saw the story, he broke the world record for the mile while juggling today, or on Monday. I wrote a blog about it. He ran a mile while juggling, and he ran a mile while 4 minutes and 43 seconds, 0.2, while juggling. That's what I said.
That's a fast mile.
I don't even know how to respond to that. Like, why would anyone, one, try that? And two, think to try it. And two, do it.
He beat the record by 0.6 seconds. The last one was 4 minutes, 43 seconds, 0.8.
How do you find out you can do
everything.
that?
There's a record for literally everything.
Oh, my God. How do you find out you can do that? That blows my mind.
Jared's right. There's a record for literally everything. Barstool wrote a blog. Barstool wrote a blog about woman breaks world record for burpees without doing any actual burpees, and they posted the video, and she never stood all the way up. It was hilarious. I recommend going to check that video out. But anyway, that's the show. Couch Guy Sports Loose Change Podcast episode. I hope this is 58 because we're talking like this is episode 58. Episode 58 in the books. Thank you, Tom Giles. Tom Giles I can feel it. He's gonna be a regular guest on this show. He's our guy. I like Tom Giles a lot. Great host. Once again, at Tom Giles NBCS, and watch him on Boston Sports Tonight, Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to midnight. Jared, Kevin, producer Pat, Couch Guy Sports Loose Change Podcast, episode 58. Go check out the store. Too, by the way, the store just opened this week. We're selling merch now. We are selling merch, baby. We're selling everything. We're selling t-shirts. We're selling snapbacks. We're selling beanies. We're selling sweatshirts. We're selling everything. Go check out the store. Rate and subscribe on iTunes and Stitcher. Follow us, like us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Couch Guy Sports. Help the show grow. Go buy some stuff in the Couch Guy Sports store. That's it. Loose Change Podcast, episode 58 in the books. We'll see you next week.